Welcome people, and this is me KMD, welcome to another Debbie Daylight video. Today I decided to do something a bit reminiscent of my old days as a commentary YouTuber and do something else than gameplay, because as you probably know, I did a lot of gameplay lately. Let's talk about Dredge. Dredge is a killer that is in DBD for over 3 years now, since his inclusion in the chapter 24 Rules of Dread, which was the 6th anniversary chapter. And Dredge got some pretty good balance changes in 8.1.0. However, there's only one thing that I feel that was kinda missed in that patch that should have been added alongside it. Even though Dredge still needs a lot of basic changes, there's one thing that's currently really bugging me, because there's just like not a lot of variety in the killer for one single reason. Dredge's add-ons are not interesting and boring. Dredge's add-ons are really samey, really boring, and they don't really provide much variety, so I would like to change that by proposing an add-on pass for the character. My criteria for what I am going to change in the add-ons are current Dredge, no base kit changes, no implementation to the base kit. We are working with purely what is currently in the game, and we cannot like make an add-on base kit and rework it. We have to either keep what's in the add-on in the reworked version or make a completely new effect. The latter option is going to be used on add-ons that are generally fucking useless. And also the changes I am proposing should be plausible, but I am allowed to be silly sometimes. Let's get into the first add-on, the caffeine tablets. Currently it reveals the auras of locked lockers in yellow while you're charging the gloaming and while you're teleporting. In my version I would like them to reveal the auras of armed blocks within 60 meters of you and decrease the lock basic attack cooldown by 50%. So if you hit a locker, you recover from the cooldown 50% faster than you would on a normal environmental hit. It would encourage lock breaking instead of playing with them in mind, like current caffeine tablets does, and encourage you to strengthen your micro game and like, you know, you have to break your locks. Next up we have the, in my opinion, worst design add-on in current Dead by Daylight, Mortar and Pestle. Mortar and Pestle causes you to emerge from the remnant facing the direction at the moment of teleportation, rather than one in which you place the remnant. I believe this add-on is terrible, and as I said earlier, one of the worst designs, because it's redundant. It makes it easier for survivors to confuse you with their movement, and you can basically emulate this add-on by just flicking your camera correctly when placing down the remnant. In my ideal add-on pass, this add-on would trigger Killer Instinct on survivors within 60 meters of you while charging the gloaming during nightfall, instead of while you are inside of a locker or when you teleport to the remnant. So you don't have to put a pyre on cooldown to gain the Killer Instinct, but you will be slower and traversing the map. So it will be like Whispers, but like with direct info and only available during nightfall. I think it's not too good and it's not too bad, it's just okay. And your cooldown in Nightfall is 4 seconds, so there is literally no reason to run this add-on if you have better add-ons, because this is a brown. Brown add-ons are meant to be basic add-on stats that can be replaced by higher rarity add-ons. They are only made for new players of the character on lower levels of the Blood Web. Next up we have the Wooden Plank. This change will be a bit more unique than the other ones. Currently the add-on increases the charges added to the Nightfall meter for hooking a survivor at 25%, causing the increase to go from 20 to 25 charges to the counter. I will be completely reworking this add-on, name and icon included. Don't comment on my artistic skills, I would commission someone if I had the money. Welcome the Garden Advertisement, which will increase the range of the Nightfall Killer Instinct by 4 meters. I decided to change the icon and name since we already have Eerie Wooden Plank and there is no reason to have the exact same add-on, just with the iridescent effect on it from the entity. So I decided to make it an advertisement of the garden included in one of the teasers for the chapter. You can notice a pattern that like I will be turning every Nightfall Gain add-on into something else, because Malfit Skull is just power creeping every single one of them, and I don't see a reason why everything related to Nightfall Gain exists when you just have Malfit Skull. Next up we have the Air Freshener. The Air Freshen currently adds 1 token to Reign of Darkness. You don't need 4 tokens, but I decided to keep this effect and add another one, which will be increasing the consecutive teleports by +1 meter. So you go from normal speed, I think 20 meters per second is going to be the one with +1, then it will be 21, and then finally 22 for the 4th teleport. Well, 4th teleport, like the one that comes with the 4th token. I don't have enough brain power to calculate it right now, but you get what I mean. It does not apply on the 1st teleport, of course, so you don't have like 20 meters base kit. I think that for a green add-on it's okay, because boat key is still better than that, because it's a flat 3 meters per second bonus or every teleport, and also breaks all locks at the end of the game, so I think it doesn't power creep boat key too much, even though that add-on is still not really good. Burnt letters. It currently increases the charges added to the nightfall meter for injuring survivors by 25%, so you go from 20 to 25 charges for injuring someone. It will now cause the following effect. After teleporting to the remnant, you grant every survivor within 32 meters of you blindness and oblivious for 30 seconds. Blindness is an effect that I think should be reworked, because it isn't really good against people on comms, but I decided to add oblivious to that because the add-on will actually do something. And also with the curtain add-on for Springtrap giving you basically sloppy, I think old yellow and now current green add-ons can have status effects in them, so I see no reason why I wouldn't be able to change this add-on in this way. You will notice that the issue I have with the design of Dredge's add-ons is that every single one of them is power crept by the top ones, and there's a big lack of remnant add-ons, so I'm trying to kinda make additional add-ons for the remnant itself, because most of the add-ons are either for teleport or for nightfall. While they are pretty useful in their own regards, the best parts of your kit will be boosting your daytime performance. So Hades calendar is used for the exit locker time in daytime, which is making your teleport part of your power better, while automine writing is mostly used for the remnant, and it's pretty much one of the only two add-ons that actually affect the remnant. You only have automine writing and follower's cowl, that's pretty much it. Also, you can notice that I didn't change follower's cowl because I think it's a great design for new player. I am the biggest fan of follower's cowl in terms of design in Dead by Daylight, I'll be honest. The fallen shingle will increase the charge rate of the nightfall meter while using Reign of Darkness by 15% per second, and this add-on is really useless because you should never ever be sitting in lockers just to farm nightfall at all. Genuinely never do that unless you're like in endgame trying to farm nightfall to find the last survivor. Don't do that, please. It will now cause the following effect. Survivors looking at you when Reign of Darkness is put on cooldown will scream, revealing their location to you. It's a ripoff of that one Sadako add-on, who nobody really cares about, and I don't know why it's a purple add-on. It's not that big of an effect. They have to be looking at you to scream. So you will be already seeing them, and this change to Fallen Shingle will be exclusively used for, like, for example, Dead Man's Switch, like perks that trigger off screams, or like when you let go of a gen, to kinda emulate old Lavalier mic, because based on the description that Odd, for example, put in his add-on tier list, why he thinks this add-on is very good, he puts that it could trigger like perks that activate when you let go of a gen. So I will keep this like in Fallen Shingle, but I will change Lavalier microphone to be a bit more interesting in my opinion, because this add-on is purely for like Reddit gold farming jump scares on streamers stuff, you know. So now we go to Destroyed Pillow. Destroyed Pillow currently reduces the cooldown time of the gloaming by 2.5 seconds during nightfall, which is literally just pointless because your cooldown is already pretty much instant in nightfall. So instead, it will reduce the duration of the cooldown of successful basic attacks hit within 3 seconds after teleporting to the remnant during nightfall by minus 20%. It's basically a mini Stibiffle for nightfall. I was considering making this basically blurry photo by like reducing the teleport speed to the teleport duration to the remnant by like minus 20%, but that will be kinda boring, and as I am known sometimes as that one guy that has blurry photo, it would be very situational in my opinion, so I would not do that. So I decided to give Dredge a mini Stibiffle in nightfall with this add-on. The War Helmet currently increases the duration of Killer Instinct by 1.5 seconds during nightfall. I decided to instead change it to a completely new system that could be maybe a bit too strong for a blue add-on, but hear me out. Gain a token for every survivor revealed with Killer Instinct during nightfall. For every token after nightfall ends, reveal the aura of all survivors for 5 seconds, up to 20. Maybe it's eerie or purple add-on material, but I think it would be really funny. And a lot of killers have very strong green and blue add-ons, so I don't see a reason why it couldn't be blue, but if it's a purple, then switch out, like, I don't know, the future Tilling Blade that I'm going to talk about with War Helmet, and it should be fine. Next up we have the Lavalier microphone, which currently causes two following effects. The auras of all survivors are revealed to you for 3 seconds after consuming the last power token, and causes all lockers within 6 meters of survivors to open and slam their doors when entering them through teleportation. This effect cannot be acted on instantly, so this info is going to be outdated once your power gets off cooldown. And also the secondary effect is very situational instead of information use, and it's mostly used for jump scares. So instead, we'll be making this add-on Survivors revealed by the Killer Instinct gain the exhausted status effect for 10 seconds. This is actually something you can act on, unlike current lavalier microphone. Insane! Next up we have the Tilling Blade, which currently causes blindness, hemorrhage and mangled to survivors for 80 seconds when they get hit in Nightfall. And as I am known for saying this several times in basically every single discussion I have about this add-on, this is not the status effects you want during Nightfall. You want them outside of Nightfall to build Nightfall. Having these status effects in Nightfall basically does nothing to you, because you can quickly reapply the injury even if they heal normally, so there is no point. So instead, the Tilling Blade will reveal the auras of survivors within 20 meters of you when you put a survivor in the dying state during Nightfall. Since you cannot use Infectious Fright for a big chunk of the game because you don't have a terror radius, this will actually be an add-on for you. So we will have a perk in an add-on that you can actually act on. And for the Iridescent add-ons, let's go to the Eerie Wooden Plank. This is probably the biggest rework in this add-on pass concept, but I think it's gonna be really funny. It might be a bit broken, but there's some downsides that I think are enough to justify this add-on being so strong. So currently, Iridescent Wooden Plank causes survivors to suffer from the exposed status effect in the last 12 seconds of Nightfall. Now, for the reworked version, this is gonna be long. Nightfall no longer grants you the undetectable status effect. This is also included in the teleport during Nightfall, so if you teleport, you are no longer stealthy. Your terrorist is traveling with you while you're teleporting. During Nightfall, gain a 10% haste status effect. All logs disarm during Nightfall. Survivors suffer from the exposed status effect for the last 12 seconds of Nightfall, and here's the downside, even more important one than the detectable one. Missing a basic attack or getting stunned by any means will end Nightfall. This is probably my most out there proposition ever that I talked about in the criteria. I am allowed to be silly sometimes, but I can be trusted with overdrive on Dredge. Behavior, please. that would be really funny. That would be just an add-on that exists. And I think that it would cause more people to be interested in playing Dredge. So if you want to increase Dredge's pick rate, you might consider this idea. And finally, for the Sacrificial Knife, currently it blocks all vault locations within 60 meters of the locker you emerge from during Nightfall for 5 seconds. I just removed the Nightfall requirement. This add-on is only used for forcing out god pallets, like Shark Pallet, and is useful during melee teleports, but since melee teleports are like more skill expressive in daytime than in Nightfall, because in Nightfall they are pretty much free, I decided to make it work in daytime, so you're encouraged to use teleport during daytime, teaches you how to do melee teleports, and basically just like helps you out. Might not be a material for an Eerie add-on, but if we already have an effect that's pretty much ready to change by just removing the requirement, I think it's really okay. And I think that I can allow myself to do just a simple change to a pretty mediocre add-on. Like, my tier list is really free with how much I place add-ons in tiers. For example, this add-on is somehow the bottom of A, but since Dredge doesn't just have any interesting or strong add-ons, dude, fuck yes. That was my proposition for the add-on path for the Dredge. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe agree, maybe not. If you have any different ideas for how to change Dredge's add-ons, or if you even think that Dredge doesn't need add-on changes, let me know in the comments. I would love to discuss that with you. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, internet.